Himani ji. Welcome to my program, if I can call this.
Sure, sure.
So I'm actually very excited to see you, to be talking to you. And you have been a supporter of the NGO, and you've been sort of available for us and joining hands with us whenever we ask you to. And it's been amazing actually. And I want to introduce you to the world as our brand ambassador actually.
Oh, it will be an honor and a pleasure. And let me tell you that I'm really very excited to be part of this interview. And whenever you called me, I've just, as you mentioned, I have always participated in your programs, in your whatever, when you asked me to take a class, because I really admire what you have done. It's really amazing, and I must congratulate you on your dream and hard work. And when I last attended, I see what all you've achieved, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So I think a lot of your fans, your followers will not know that you speak such good English.
Yeah, because the roles that I've done, and anyway, I've done in many languages, our regional languages. I was always, English speaker. And the first play that I had done in National School of Drama, I was so embarrassed. I'm going to narrate that incident. Grand rehearsal was happening. And, I was playing the lead. We were doing Vidya Sundar, which was being directed by Sri V.V. Karan, a genius. And I was playing Vidya. And this was, you know, uh, it was full of songs and traditional bhasha ki chadhawat mo pe kaam kaman. And what happened was, we wore this costume, usme uttariya hota hai. So my uttariya got stuck in a stool, so the hero, he just lifted the stool, and I got my uttariya back so I could continue my movements. And automatically I said thank you. Oh my god, I was ragged for all the 3 years that I was being trained कि इसने तो thank you bola. Oh, Vidya Sundar mein. So that's where I come from, and people find it very surprising.
Absolutely, absolutely. क्योंकि हिंदी मूवीज में तो सी वी विल शिफ्ट बिटवीन हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश. मेरी हिंदी अच्छी नहीं है, ओके. But
I would
people
love
who
to teach you Hindi. I would love to teach you
yes,
Hindi.
yes, I would love to. We are see, we are also working on regional languages. We have Kannada program going on
Yes,
in
yes.
Bangalore.
I really like that. And I remember I spoke to you, ki please introduce Hindi also, Hindi speaking. I would love to do it, but you would explain why you were emphasizing more on the English.
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
told me. Yes.
So English is something that's not available for the underprivileged, and
Yes.
see, I feel that it's become sort of a divide between the haves and the have-nots. जो
Correct.
जिनको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती उनको बहुत सारा opportunities नहीं मिलता है. They can't pursue professional courses.
Correct. Correct. And they get a complex also, especially when they are with these people who are, coming from convent or public school education, and वो लोग फर्राटे से English बोल रहे हैं, and these people can't speak, so they get a complex.
Absolutely. We have seen that. I used to actually, in between, I used to call myself, when I'm introducing myself, I would say, I'm an English confidence coach. क्योंकि थोड़ा बहुत बात करो चलेगा बाबा, और मिस्टेक्स करोगे तो भी चलेगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नाउ माई हिंदी इज नॉट ग्रेट बट डजंट मैटर, बट माई कॉन्फिडेंस इज नॉट लो. क्योंकि ना
Yeah,
ये क्या हो
that's
जाता है, हाँ, लोगों को ना क्या क्या हो जाता है, अंग्रेजी नहीं आता मतलब आप स्मार्ट नहीं हो, आप इंटेलिजेंट नहीं हो, ऐसा.
exactly.
हाँ.
This is such a. I actually am so against this. This is that wo Angrez jo we were under the British rule, so we still carry those things, and I really hate it. And I just dream of the day when people will not be ashamed of speaking confidently in their own language, whether it is Hindi, it is Malayalam, or it is Marathi, whatever.
Absolutely. See,
Anyway,
our whether it's our movies, our culture, everything we can express it through our mother tongue, through our regional languages. But अभी क्या हो
yes,
गया? English has become a business language. वो और कोई चारा नहीं है. You can't get away from this, and it has become a
yes,
requirement.
exactly.
One is learn to communicate and don't worry about your fluency and proficiency. अरे हमारा मातृभाषा नहीं है, अच्छे से बोल नहीं सकते, चलेगा, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Mm.
ठीक है. So I also want to know, was English your favorite subject in school? ऐसा नहीं था कि
What?
what was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject was actually, I used to love geography, because and we had a wonderful geography teacher, and he used to take us to different countries like Australia, and I used to love imagining those places. But I scored the highest in Hindi and English because
That's a
my
nice.
dad was a Hindi and Sanskrit teacher, and I was very fond of the English language because I was a bookworm, so I was always reading. So my English became, and I was debating in both Hindi and English. So I was proficient in both the languages, but I was very fond. But I went on to take sciences. So I mean, I was just from here and there, being a liberal. Sometimes it was history, sometimes it was biology. So, but never maths, never maths.
So people would have thought you are a proper art student because of the career that you pursued. But मैंने अभी देखा that you studied the physics and as graduation
Yes,
का क्या
yes.
पढ़ा आपने?
I am a postgraduate in organic chemistry, MSc,
Wow.
and yeah, and I got a scholarship to go to study MS in America. But I let that go and I joined the National School of Drama because I was selected in the National School of Drama because theater happened to be my first love.
And was that because of your father? He was a poet, no?
My father was a writer and he also used to be very culturally inclined, that he used to direct plays in our school, and he used to help me with my debates and all that. And he'd stayed some time in Calcutta, so he always felt that it should be everyone should get an all-round development, not just studies, which was quite revolutionary at that time. He made me learn painting, he made me learn dancing. I learned Bharatnatyam in Dehradun, imagine, and music. And my mother used to say, ये क्या है, ये कभी play कर रही है, कभी debates कर रही है, इसको घर का काम भी आना चाहिए. So my father, told her, he says, why you don't tell your son, why you telling the daughter? So he used to treat the daughter and the son equally. He used
Wow.
to tell my mom, let her pursue her dreams. So fortunately, I had a very broad-minded father, and it is because of him that I'm in this field. Otherwise, 40 years or maybe 50 years back it was part of Uttar Pradesh, where I come from, a small town called Dehradun. Nobody could think of taking theatre, and I happened to then go on to films and television. You take up theatre as a profession. So
Yeah.
he helped me with that.
So parents play a crucial role in the way our lives are shaped, and I
Yes.
think parents out there, आप लोग जो भी ये प्रोग्राम देखोगे, आपको समझना चाहिए कि I mean बच्चे जो भी करेंगे, I mean it will all depend on how you what do you say, how do I put it, means आप जितना appreciate करोगे, आप जितना how much you keep helping them to
Encouraging your
realize their
child,
dreams. Yes.
and I think we should allow the children to pursue their dreams, so then they will excel in whatever they are doing. I mean, some parents would try to live their dreams through their children, which is, I think, wrong. They should let the children discover his
Huh.
whatever his forte is.
Absolutely. So I think people would have seen you speaking like this in English for the first time. आपका इंटरव्यू सब हिंदी में होगा, है ना, अभी तक?
Yeah, because whatever one can say about English, it might be good for interviews and stuff. But overall, our large population, I think Hindi is understood more because it is our Rashtra Bhasha. It is our Rashtra Bhasha, and plus because people watch Hindi films, so people prefer that you speak in. Or now it has become Hindustani. Hindustani se bhi aage ho gayi. It has become English. You can speak in English and in Hindi, which is what most of the people who know both the languages are speaking.
Correct. So have you sort of seen people around you who may be maids or drivers, or maybe in your industry, club boys or people like that, who feel that English is an aspirational language? दीदी हमें जरूर पढ़ना है ये, हमें भी आपसे आप जैसे बात करना है.
Yes,
uh,
yes,
hmm,
yes. I'll tell you. I mean, I've seen my relatives also, some of them, because I come from a small town in UP. So they used to have this complex, because Doon School is a very posh society. So whenever
hmm,
my relatives used to come, all those people, and they used to be afraid to speak because they couldn't speak English so well, because basically we were a middle class family, and I'll tell you about my workplace, my hairdresser, Hema, I'll tell you her name. Now she wants to she feels that she asked me कि दीदी मुझे English सिखाइए ना, so that's what I do. So she's teaching me Marathi and I'm teaching her English because she feels कि बच्चे उसको मम्मा तुमको English नहीं आती है, हमको स्कूल में English बोलना पड़ता है, तो तुम हमको तो तुम हमसे बात भी नहीं. और if they have some problems because she's weak in English, she can't solve it. So we are doing an exchange, kind of that. I mean, it's my way of saying that it's an exchange because I'm also learning a language and she's also learning a language, hopefully. And there's so many other people whom I've met, like, there used to be my driver. He was, if you go in these parties, ya koi aapko good morning, ye sab bolne ke liye. So if they don't know, because he had come from Uttar Pradesh, so he didn't know the English words. So I used to help him because, as you said, that uh, वो जो अंग्रेजों का जो हम पे वो जो कॉम्प्लेक्स रह गया है कि if you don't speak English you are backward, which is really
if you go
sad, but
to,
it's the truth. It's the
yeah,
truth.
see, if, for example, China or Germany, wherever you go, if you don't know English, you're not judged. But in India, it
You're not
happens,
that,
and
but yeah, that's because of that colonial that
mentality.
thing that we had. Yeah, yeah. If you go to France, they will only, even if they know English, they'll speak French. You go to Russia, they'll be speaking Russian. And anybody goes there to study or anything, like my friend went to do a filmmaking course, she had to learn Russian. Or if you go to Germany, you've got to first. My friend migrated to Canada, and French is their language. So she had to learn French if she had to this thing work over there. So she learned French. It was a necessity. You have to learn their language.
Absolutely.
I wish and I pray for the day that it happens in India.
हो जाएगा, जरूर
It's
हो
become
जाएगा.
Bharat now that everybody has to learn Hindi to do anything official or their jobs or anything. It'll be wonderful. But right now it's English.
That's all. That's also whatever is the situation now. Let's go according to that is what I tell
Yes,
students.
yes, yes, yes.
So
This is
when
what
I
you
when
are
I
doing.
so when I'm talking to a person like you who has done what I was just seeing Wikipedia 97 movies or more.
What?
97 movies आपने किया है?
No, no, I have done more than 200 films.
Oh.
Wikipedia is behind. I haven't updated it. I've done more than 200. I think it
Okay.
must be 300 now.
Okay. Okay. So थोड़ा बहुत gossip तो चाहिए मुझे. Who is your favorite co-star?
Well, most of the actors that I've worked with, Shah Rukh, I simply love because he's a thorough gentleman and he also came from that background. Do you remember? Everybody remembers the scene from DDLJ, my
Yes.
sari scene. Everybody talks about it. मेरा और शाहरुख का scene, मतलब हमारे shots एकदम अलग थे. But Shahrukh being Shahrukh, he gave me all the cues. He wasn't in the shot. Uska alag shot hai, wo kela kha raha hai and he's doing this or this. But he gave me all the reaction. That's why that scene came out so beautiful. And all the scenes that I've shot, whether it's birthdays or kuch kuch hota hai, he's always been giving the cues, which is very important. And now Bollywood actors have also realized that cues are very important, because scene is not created by one actor, it is created by all the actors who are there. So Shah Rukh is my favorite. Salman, of course. I mean, I've done so many films with Salman. I simply, he's adorable. He's a kid at heart. But and Govinda, of course, people at one time used to call me Chichi ki, Govinda ki ai aa rahi hai, Govinda ki mummy aa rahi hai. And of course, Kareena, I've simply loved, Kareena used to be, I've worked so much with her sister, Karishma also. But Kareena, Kareena and I had a very wonderful relationship, in the sense that both, I remember when I was doing Prem Ki Diwani, both Abhishek and Kareena used to fight, because I'd done a lot of films with Abhishek, and they used to say, "No, Himani auntie is mine. I've done more films with her than you have." So Kareena used to tell him, "I know Himani ji, right when I used to come on the sets of Hero Number One, and when my dad was directing, when I did RK films, um, so she used to come on the sets. So so I had a wonderful relationship with all my co-stars, and of course I can never forget Madhuri Dixit, who was such a gem of who was. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used that. She still is. I mean, she's a gem of a person. I've done many films with her, so I can't take one actor's name. It's all of them. I thoroughly enjoyed, and we had a blast, because those films, they were mostly in the 90s films. They were mostly family oriented films, and they used to go on for aajkal to sirf ek mahine mein they have to wrap up, ek mahina, 2 mahina, so everything is very brisk. But earlier we used to take a little longer. We used to enjoy working, and outdoors used to be like a holiday together. Wonderful. I mean, I still remember Hum Aapke Kaun's outdoors, RK Films outdoors, New York, Manhattan. We did uh, Chintu ji's film, Rishi Kapoor's film, Aap Lord Chale. We had a ball. And of course, BV number one, hero number one, amazing. And Prem Ki Diwani, of course, amazing memories I've got.
So I should say I am really lucky to have found you, wherein, yeah, see,
No, no,
we
I'm lucky. No, I'm lucky that I came to become a part of such a wonderful initiative by you. I
yeah.
am very happy, and I'm very touched that you want me to be the brand ambassador, because one, I always feel that you should give back something to the society, because I'm very grateful to whatever I've got. I'm not saying I'm Ambani's or anything, but whatever little I've achieved in life, I'm very grateful. And if I'm in a position I can help other people, I would love to do it. So, and you gave me an opportunity, and whenever there is a social cause, I love to do it.
Great, great. That's lovely. That's lovely. So I want to hear more about your dad also a little bit, since he was a poet and a Hindi poet and all that. So was he also good in English, and or kya tha? He was also able to speak like you, communicate in English, or it was only restricted to Hindi?
No, my dad was, actually he ran away from his village. So he had a very different background, and he struggled on his own. He educated himself. He studied, because this time he came to Rishikesh from Pahar, Uttarakhand, a village in Uttarakhand, Patwari. And first he ran away to Calcutta. He works there, and then he came back to Rishikesh and he studied, because he was very fond of education, because the very fact why he ran away from his village, because in the village there was this saying कि अगर बच्चा ज्यादा पढ़ेगा तो मर जाएगा. So my दादा जी ना, he stopped कि इतना तुम्हारा education हो गया, अब तुम, they were villagers, landowners. Bhatwadi, it was named after our family only, Bhatto ki family.
Hmm.
भट्टों की वाड़ी थी वो. So my father didn't want to discontinue his studies, so he ran away from his village and he came down. Imagine, उस time तो buses वगैरह भी नहीं थी. He walked all that way, and there is, now we think of it, Jim Corbett. You must have heard of Jim Corbett. There were tigers roaming around. The tiger that he'd shot was came very close to where my dad was passing. There is this monument of the tiger that Jim Corbett had shot. So imagine the dangers my father went through to for the sake of education. And he educated himself, and he was doing tuitions in Doon School. And the headmaster saw him, and he was very impressed by the way my dad was teaching the students, because my dad was a wonderful teacher. Even if I say it and all his students say it, real guru he was. He's my teacher also. I still respect him. More than a father, a wonderful teacher. And he taught himself English, because it's like, जैसे कि हम उन लोगों की बात करते हैं underprivileged, they don't know English, because nobody is speaking around them. Language you acquire when you see people speaking around them. They were speaking Pahari. Yes, ज़्यादा Hindi आके, when he came to UP. So he educated himself to learn English. But of course, his Hindi and Sanskrit was better. But he could just work along, and he did speak English. There is no this two ways about it. My mother was a little hesitant, She always used to. So I used to, in fact, tell her that, why are you speaking in English? Speak in Hindi. But this complex that you're saying, because Doon School was a very posh school, and my dad was a teacher, my mother was a matron. So, she had to deal with all these students who came from very posh families, Raja, Maharaja, because Doon was Doon School was a very exclusive school at one time. It still is, because only the rich and
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
Tatas and all these people studied there. So they come from these backgrounds जो जहाँ पर English ही बोली जाती है, and they don't even speak Hindi. So to communicate with them, you're saying, I've seen I was telling you, I've seen my mother, facing that complex. So that's why I can understand, and that's why when you called me, I could just align myself and understand what these people were going through
Absolutely.
through
So I
personal
think
experience.
that also may be a reason why you
And
connect with
another
us.
thing,
Hmm.
since you said I must talk about my father, this feeling of helping, my father has helped so many people in his life. I mean, we also don't know, Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand to baad mein bana, pehle it was Uttar Pradesh. So that Himalayan area, villages, they used to be very poor, and they used to come down to Dehradun. They had no job. So, we had guests staying in our house, and my dad used to feed them, and he used to speak to people, ki please inki naukri laga do. Yeah, he helped some guy to set up a bakery, bread ki dukaan. Bakeries are very famous in Dehradun. So he was always helping. I'll tell you an incident, I went to Dehradun when my dad expired. I said, how can मैं उनको श्रद्धांजलि कैसे दे सकती हूँ? So, I did a play with his story, and it was Sunehre Sapne, based on how Uttarakhand happened. So, I used typical Uttarakhandi instruments. So there was this guy who was playing, we have instruments called dhol damau and hurki. Hurki. He was one of the best hurki players in Uttarakhand. So I requested him, and I asked him, I told him, कि देखिए उतना पैसा तो मैं नहीं दे पाऊंगी. तो इसे, अरे बेटा पैसे की बात मत करना मुझसे. Of course, I gave him a little bit. He says, आपको पता है मेरी रेडियो में नौकरी किसने किसने लगाई? आपके पिताजी ने. So my dad, even after he passed away, so many people came up, and then I realized how much my dad had helped and transformed people's lives. I have not done even a little bit, and I want to do something like that now.
Yeah. So I pictures are falling into place now, wherein you connected with our cause because your dad was a teacher and he helped so many people, and you saw your mother struggle with her language, and you have seen all
Yeah.
this around. वो so वो ये सही बैठ गया आपके लिए wherein you could
बिल्कुल
connect with
बिल्कुल Yes, yes. I could connect immediately, and I would love to. I told you, I would love to do more, whatever I can do. I mean, I came to take theater classes for the children,
Yes.
but because I said that's my background. But I want to do so much more. Whatever you are doing, I think what Asha Foundation is doing and what you've achieved is really admirable. I admire what you've achieved there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, another thing I want to talk about is how communication plays a crucial role in education, or whether jobs, or whether you're networking with people, or whatever. See, for example, communication, and even I'm sure even in your field also, communication is very crucial, and
Of
language
course, of
plays
course.
an important role in communication.
Very, very, very
Yeah,
important.
so what is the message, and I want you to say this in Hindi, क्योंकि आपके fans तो ज़्यादातर हिंदी speaking only they will be, I'm sure. So I want you to tell me what is it that they have to do to overcome this fear of English, and what do they think about, I mean, how do they become better communicators?
Yes. देखिए, कम्युनिकेशन बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है, बहुत जरूरी होता है, क्योंकि हम कैसे एक दूसरे से बातचीत के द्वारा ही अपने आइडियाज पुट अप कर सकते हैं। और अगर आपको जिंदगी में या अपने काम के क्षेत्र में भी आगे बढ़ना है, तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे देश की ऐसी स्थिति है कि अंग्रेजी जानना बहुत जरूरी है। तो मैं आप सब लोगों से कहना चाहूंगी कि आशा फाउंडेशन ने एक बहुत ही अच्छा प्रोग्राम शुरू किया है, तो आप इसका लाभ उठाएं, और अपने आप को कभी किसी भी इस चीज से तो बिल्कुल कम मत समझिए कि अगर आप नहीं बोल सकते इंग्लिश तो क्या बात है, भाषा है, सीखिए, और ये आपको मदद करेंगे सिखाने में। आप आई एम श्योर यू कैन टेल देम हाउ दे कैन लर्न इंग्लिश। और ये एक बात है कि अपनी जो मातृभाषा है उसके लिए कभी भी अपने को निम्न मत समझिए। मतलब यू शुड बी प्राउड कि आप भारतीय हैं, और आपकी जो भी मातृभाषा है, और हिंदी हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा है, उसके लिए भी आप गर्व महसूस करिए। लेकिन चूंकि जिंदगी है, प्रैक्टिकलिटी है, आपको लाइफ में, बिजनेस में, और सोशल, आजकल तो सोशल मीडिया भी इतना आ गया है कि अगर आपको आगे बढ़ना है तो आप लैंग्वेज स्किल कम्युनिकेशन के लिए सीखिए, और ये आपको बताएंगी आशा फाउंडेशन से कैसे आप लाभ उठा सकते हैं।
That's really nice. That's really nice. So, a little bit more about how did you how were you able to learn a language so quickly? For example, means you've done so many different kinds of movies that you have done. So, I want to know what kind of techniques do you use when you're learning something new, learning a new language?
Well, I haven't thought about that, but it's basic। the इच्छा होनी चाहिए, है ना? इच्छा होनी चाहिए। जैसे आई टेल यू, like I've done in the films, I've spoken Punjabi because there are a lot of Punjabis around in the north. Dehradun, my best friend was a Punjabi, and Delhi, I studied in Delhi in the National School of Drama, my theatre training, and I was doing theatre performances. So that is full of Punjabi. So I got a very good ear. So I could pick up. So, so many films I've done, whether it is DDLJ or there's this Punjabi accent I could do. I've done Punjabi film also. And Marathi, of course, since I was in Bombay, I did a Marathi film, children's film. And as I told you, we have an exchange program with my hairdresser. She's teaching me Marathi and I'm teaching her English. And Malayalam, of course, I had to learn that since I did that Mayagi film. I was playing Jyotika's mother, Surya's film. And I suppose I can pick up and I'll tell you an example. I'm doing this serial of mine currently, which is called Happu Ke Ultan Paltan, where I'm speaking Bundeli, which is a part of UP and Madhya Pradesh. And I'll tell you, the director gave me the freedom. He says, Himani ji, आप तो हिंदी में बोलिए, क्योंकि My husband, the guy who's playing my husband, he's speaking, he refused to, he couldn't speak Bundeli. He says, वो हिंदी बोल रहे हैं. So I said, no, because the hero of the show, Hapu, that's his language. And even the heroine was from Madhya Pradesh. She knew the language. So both of them were speaking. I told the director, नहीं sir, I said, देखिए, मेरा बेटा अगर वो बोल रहा है तो वो मातृभाषा है ना, तो माँ को तो बोलनी पड़ेगी. So I learned that language. What can I say?
Yeah, so that is what I want.
I'm
Yeah,
good with languages.
good with languages, I'm
You
sure.
should learn. I think that's what I feel. And especially we are so lucky in our country that देखो आप इंग्लैंड जाओ, उनके पास एक ही भाषा है, अंग्रेजी, है ना. You go to Australia, they're speaking form of Australian accent के साथ, है ना. फ्रांस में जाओ, उनके पास फ्रेंच है. लेकिन हमारे पास तो कितनी सारी भाषाएं हैं. So we should learn all the languages. All तो करना बहुत मुश्किल है. And basically, I think because I'll tell you one reason that my dad used to recite Sanskrit shlokas. My dad was a Sanskrit teacher. The wind is really something. So I learned a little bit of Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is a mother of all languages. It's really true, especially our regional languages.
यहाँ पे मुझे क्या बोलना था is lot of people keep asking me how do I learn English, how do I acquire this language. So there is something called organic acquisition of a language wherein आपको पढ़ना लिखना वो आना जरूरी नहीं है. You have to just listen to the language. You keep listening to the
That's it.
language and you improve. That's all. और कुछ ये नहीं है इसमें.
That's what
So
I told you. I have a good ear. I have a good ear. So you need good ears.
you have to keep listening to the language and that is how
Yes.
you will acquire the language. And आप तो सब लोग और message to all my students is you are listening to this. Not मैं तो बोलती रहती हूँ, हमेशा यही बोलती रहती हूँ, but you're listening, you're keep telling you today ऐसे ही करना है. Wherein you keep listening to the language and you will improve your language. बस वही है, इतना है. So one last
Correct.
message, ma'am, before you leave, for all our students and for all your listeners out there, one last message.
I've already given a message, I think. But anyway, one last message I'll give. You want it in Hindi or English?
Whatever you're comfortable.
I'm comfortable with both. Okay, since you're saying they all, तो मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि कभी भी संकोच मत करो. कोई भी चीज अगर आपको सीखनी है, आपकी इच्छा है, तो आपको कोई ताकत नहीं रोक सकती. आपको प्रयास करना पड़ेगा. अगर आपको भाषा सीखनी है, हम इतने समृद्ध हैं कि हमारे देश में इतनी सारी भाषाएं बोली जाती हैं, तो उनमें से 2-3 ही सीखिए. और आप कोई नई चीज सीखते हैं तो आपका दिमाग के सेल्स इंप्रूव करते हैं. ये साइंटिफिक फैक्ट है. तो आप, और अगर अंग्रेजी आपको नहीं आती तो अंग्रेजी लाइफ में आगे बढ़ने के लिए, इंटरव्यू के लिए और वैसे भी आपको अंग्रेजी सीखनी है, तो फिर आप सीखिए. किसने रोका है आपको?
Exactly. और कुछ नहीं है, बस जाओ, आगे बढ़ो, सीखो, प्रयास करो.
Yes.
So that's it.
Correct.
Lovely. So lovely talking to you, Himani ji. I'm sure all your if you want to look at your dog.
Oh, come here. Arya, say hello. She's come. She's come from a walk, so she wants. I give her biscuits, so she wants. That's why she's come here. Say hello to everyone. Say hello.
What is her name? What is her name?
Arya.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Himani ji. I'm sure you have inspired lots of people to perform and not be hesitant and be confident, and they can rock it, actually.
I'm so glad, and thank you for having me, and all the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye.